So in this session, we'll be going through 3 items. The first item will be creating an account. The second item will be applying for an enterprise tourism license. And the third item will be submitting quota returns. So the first step is to create an account. If you're on this platform and you haven't logged in, you see the register button in the top right corner there. So when you click that link, you'll be presented with a very simple form where you can provide your account details. So for the sake of this presentation, I'll pretend my name is John Doe. You can also provide your mobile phone number. It's not a mandatory field, but it's important to just provide it. Then you can also provide your physical address. I'll put a work there, this is 16D. And you can also indicate your town. So myself, I'll put Lusaka. Then the most important field, it's the email address. The email address needs to be accurate because the system will be sending you emails from time to time. For you to receive emails, you need to have a working email account. If your email has been registered before, you'll not be able to proceed. For example, say I try to put an email address that's already in the system. I'll put that one, which has already been registered. You see the message pop up at the bottom there saying the provided email address has already been registered. Please provide a different email address. So you'll not be able to proceed if you've already registered before. So I'll use an email account which has not been registered. But just see the process. So that's an Hotmail account. So this one, if you've noticed, after entering the email, no message has popped up because it hasn't been registered before. Then on the password, we have a requirement that you have at least 8 characters. You will not be able to register the password. That's it. So I'll put a password which is 8 characters. And to ensure that you do not forget your password, you are required to confirm the password. So the two needs to match for you to be able to proceed. In the case that you have put a short password there, for example, if I put just 4 characters there, then I say register account, you see this message on top saying the passwords you have entered is weak and cannot be used. Please provide a different password. So when you see this, it means your password does not meet the requirements. You need to put a password that's 8 characters minimum. You are free to put more. 8 characters is just the minimum. So I'll put in a valid password. Then I'll say register account. So if you notice, if you're using your own personal computer, you can go ahead and say save password. If you are not, don't save the password. If you can check the bottom right of my screen there, there's a notification which has popped out for my email account. So if you see the account details there, it will tell you your account ID, the status, the name, the town. The most important part is the status. When you create a new account, the account is not active by default. So you cannot log in with this account. Your account has been created, but the system will need confirmation that you have a working email address. So the email address you've used should have received an email by now with the account details. So I'll switch to my email. So if I switch to my email, you'll be able to see the new email which has come through. In some cases, you may find that your spam filters or your junk filters might move the email to the junk folder or to the spam folder. If you do not see the email in the mailbox, you can go to your spam folder or to your junk folder just to make sure. But myself, as you can see, the email is there and I can see it. So if I click on that email which has been received, it will tell you that you have created the user account on the ZTA portal, and it will tell you the link to click for you to verify your account. So verifying your account is a simple process. You only click once on the link which has been provided in the email account. So if I click on that link right now, it will take me back to the system and it will verify the account. The process is automatic and only takes seconds. So if you can see on my screen right now, it's now saying account details active. The other one was saying inactive. So you've seen the change. The account previously was inactive. Now it has become active. So when an account is active, it means you're ready to go. You can log in and start applying for licenses or for grading. So at this point, you are able to log into your account. To do so, if you look at the top menu there, you have links like home, login, services, frequently asked questions, register. There's a link which says login. So to log into your account, click on the login link. So you need to provide the email address you used to create your account. And you need to provide the password which you used to create your account. If you make a mistake on the password, you receive a message like this one. So ensure that your password is correct. If you do forget your password at this stage, you can go to forgot password and you'll be able to recover the password on your own. So if I put an accurate password there and then say login, the system will log me in and I'll be able to see my dashboard. So your dashboard at a glance will tell you how many applications you have, how many licenses you have, how many invoices you have, and how many payments you have. Because this is a new account, all these will show 0 because it's a new account. So the way you navigate your dashboard, on the sidebar, in the top left side, you have the dashboard, then you have your links to the various services offered by the system. So if you go to tourism licenses, under there, you have applications, licenses, and quarterly returns. When you're creating a new application, it will appear under applications. When your application has been verified and has become a license, it appears under licenses. Then when you submit quarterly returns for your licenses, you will find them under quarterly returns. So since we intend to create a new account, we can navigate to applications, draft. So under my applications, you have a menu there on top, which says new application, view application, update application, delete application, track status, and export. So these commands which are on top allow you to perform certain actions on the applications you have. In my case, there's no application there, so there will not be, because there's no application there, I cannot use any of them. To create a new application, you use the new application button. So to create a new application, just click on the new application button and you're presented with this form, which is shown on the screen right now. So this, when you're applying for a tourism license application, you need to specify your applicant type. So to specify your applicant type, you just click this drop down here, then you choose between individual, company, cooperative, partnership, or NGO. So for example, if I say individual, my first name, last name, if I click company, it will ask for name of the company or business. So the fields change depending on what you have selected. So in our case, we can say we are a cooperative, and we have a name for the. So we can create, say, training. So you don't need to specify your team. Put the pin there, and you need to specify your partner number. So also put the dummy partner number there. Then you can also now specify other details like your physical address, like your port number, to select the province. So you can say Lusaka province. So the province you select will affect which districts are available to you. So always select the province first and then the district. So for example, if I say Lusaka province, you just there districts from Lusaka province. If I say Copper Belt, the districts there will all come from the Copper Belt. So in this case, the labels near the field, when you see a star near the label for the field, it means that field is mandatory. So you cannot leave it. Then postal address, you can also specify your postal address. And the telephone number. Specify the notification email address. In most cases, the notification will be which create. If you want to have any other email account receive those notifications, you can specify it here. So I'll use a different account now. This account already has some licenses, so maybe you can also just use it to show you a few things we're asking. So for example, if you already have a tourism license, say for example, in this account, if I say valid, I'm able to see the valid. We've just loaded dummy application. You can just see these are different applications. When you have valid licenses, you also have the renew license on top there. This button also appears when the license is expired. The reason why we've put it even on the renew section is because, like on the valid licenses, it's because we want to give you chance to start. We want to give you chance to start the renewal process even before your license expires, so that you do not face any difficulties or get inconvenienced. So you'll be allowed to renew a license 3 months before it expired. If it's not 3 months, you'll not be able to do so. So the renewal process, it's the same with the application process. The only difference is that information from your existing license will be preserved. You don't need to start specifying each and every bit of information. So at this point in the account I'm logged in, there are already some valid licenses. As you can see there are already some valid licenses. So the next part of our presentation, it's now submitting quota returns. So if you notice, when you're on valid licenses, you see the submit quota returns button. If you go to expired licenses, that button is not there. So that tells you that your license needs to be valid for you to submit quota returns. So under your valid licenses, to submit quota returns, just select a license. You may have more than one, like in this account, there's more than one. So select a license, then on top there, simply click the submit quota returns button. So when you do that, you're presented with a screen which looks like this. So this screen already has information for your license. It will tell you your license ID, your applicant name, the date when it was granted, the status, and when it's expiring, the duration. So the information you now need to provide in quota returns, it's the quota for your returns. So to specify the quota, you do two things. The first thing is you indicate the year. By default, it will show the current year. So we are in 2021, it will show 2021. In case this is not accurate, you can simply put the year you want to submit for. You can change that. Then you now indicate the reporting month. So reporting month, that's how you specify the quota. So if you are specifying quarter 1, it means you choose January to March. If you are specifying quarter 2, you choose April to June. So the months you specify, that's what specifies which quarter you are applying for. You can choose the relevant quarter by indicating the months you are applying for. So the quota should be 3 months. So once you specify the reporting period by indicating the year and the reporting month, you now say next. So at this point, your application will be saved. This information now for the period, you will now go to the screen where you're supposed to provide the turnover. So when providing the turnover, this screen, it's a bit similar to the physical documents we were using previously. So on this screen, you're supposed to indicate how many clients you add, like the countries where they came from, the first turnover in United States dollars. Like for the first month, you indicate, like for each of the months you've provided in the quota, you indicate the turnover in USD, turnover in Zambian kwacha, and you also specify which other currency where you are turnover and the amount. So you do this for the 3 months. Say for example, so we have all the countries there. If you did not get any clients from a country, just leave it on 0. So for example, say we had clients from Zambia, we most likely have clients from Zambia. We go on the, maybe, so these are sorted in alphabetical order to allow you to locate them easily. Say for example, in the first month, we had 10 people from Zambia, just put a 10 there. Say you had 2 people from Zimbabwe, you put a 2 there. Then you indicate the turnover in the first month. Maybe you say, okay, in the first month we made 1,000. So this is the turnover in USD. So you also have to indicate the turnover in Zambian kwacha. Maybe you indicate, no, in Zambian kwacha, the turnover was 11,000. And then you also indicate, so this is the first month. The first, you can see there on the column header. This is first month turnover, ZMW USD. Then you also indicate the other currency if there's any other currency where you are turnover. So say, for example, you also are turnover in euro. You indicate that here the other currency was euro and the turnover for the euro was 500. So you do this for all the 3 months. So second month, you also indicate, okay, number of clients in second month was 3. Number of, like the turnover for second month, it was 300. So I'll just put quick information here so that we can proceed. The second, in the second month, the other currency was also euro. And the amount was 700. And in the third currency, which is the last one, we had maybe 60 clients. The turnover in USSD was 500. In Zambian kwacha, it was 600. And then the other currency this time, it was the South African rand. And the amount was the 5,000. So I'll quickly duplicate this for the other country, which is Zimbabwe. Here I'll put euro. Then here I'll put 500, 300. So this works a bit similar to Excel. We try to make it as simple as possible to provide information. So to change information in a cell, just click there, then put in the information. So I'll put that information there. 200 here, Here we had the 5. Here we had the 600. The currency here was euro as well. Then it was 12,000. This one was a 2,000. So I've provided information for 2 countries. So the countries of provided information, they might not be on the same. We have split the page into 2 pages so that it's easy for you to navigate. If say you had clients from maybe say Angola, when you start entering information for Angola here, you will not see the Zambia and the Zimbabwe, but if you can see there on the preview changes, the information is still there. If you just want to quickly see which information you've provided for, you can say preview changes, and it will only show you information for the countries you have provided for. The ones you haven't will not be displayed. So in case you want to now get a summary of what you have provided, you can say show preview, then it will show you that information. So before you move to the next section, when you are done with this part, you need to remember to click save. This is very important. You click save changes so that the information is saved. So once you say that, you see the information has now been saved. If you move to the last page where we are at Zambia, you also see the information for Zimbabwe and Zambia, it's still there. So on the first page, you simply provide the turnover. When you're done with this page, you say next. On the next section, this is now where you provide information like the number of employed staff who are foreign and who are Zambian. So even on this page, the process is the same. You have the first month, second month, and third month. So for example, like the number of employed Zambian staff who are male, you just come here and you specify the quantities. Okay, I have 5 males who are Zambian in the first month. The second month I had 6, 7, maybe we employed 2 more. In the third month I had 6, 1 had left. Then you also now specify for the female, the same thing. Then now you move to the foreign staff, you indicate, okay, we have 2. In the second month, we had 1. Then the other one also joined in the third month, and we had 2. So you do the same thing again. Then the information below, like number of single rooms, like number of twin rooms. This information, if your license is an accommodation establishment, you will see this information. If it is not, you will not see it because it's not relevant to the license type you have. So on this page, the rows you are seeing might change. You might see the number of employed males and females who are foreign and Zambian. This is present on all the licenses, but for accommodation establishment, you also see additional information like number of single rooms, number of twin rooms. So here I'll say we have 2, we had 2, there were no changes. Here we had 2, here we had 2, in the third month we had 3, maybe I added 1 more. So even on this section, the moment you see council appearing on the left-hand side means you've made a change. You need to remember to say save changes. So once I click on save changes, information will be saved, the council will disappear, it means everything has been saved. You now move to the last page. So on the last page, similar to the license application, you do not make any change on the last page. You simply review what you have provided. So here, it will show you that, okay, your quota returns are for the year 2021. Then the reporting months are January to March. Then it will now show you which countries you had visitors from and the turnover from each of those or any other currencies you have. So on the last section, you are simply confirming. If your information is not correct, you can go back and correct it. If it is correct, you proceed and say submit application. Again, you'll be prompted to confirm. You say okay to proceed. Once you do that, you submit your quota returns, and similar to everything you do in the system, everything you submit by default goes to pending because it needs to be reviewed by ZTA. You also get an email when you do that. If you go to your email address, you will receive an email similar to this. Hi, then name of your establishment. You have submitted quota returns on your account. It will indicate which account, which email is attached to that account, and it will tell you the details for your submission. It will also give you a direct link to go to the system to view your submission. So if I click on that link, it will take me to the system and I can see the submission. Of course, at this point, I cannot change anything because it's now under review by ZTA. So you can access all your quota returns under your account, then quota returns. If they've been approved, you see approved there. If they've been rejected, you see rejected. If they have been submitted under waiting action, you see pending there. So maybe we can break off for 2 minutes for just questions. Yeah. So in the chat, we've noticed a number of people were asking about the renewal. So the renewal can be started when you have a license expiring within 3 months or when you have an. So under your licenses, you have your valid licenses and you have your expired licenses. So a valid license can only be renewed if it's expiring within 3 months. If it still has more than 3 months, you cannot start the process. If it has expired, you can start the process. So you simply select the license and then say renew license. If you notice the process is completely the same, of course it will say renew license, but all the details for that license will be captured. So the entire process is the same. It's only that when you're renewing, you do not have to provide information from scratch. You only provide information which has changed. All your information for the area license is preserved. So renewal is a simple process. It's similar to applying for a license. To apply for a license, you say new application, and you see this screen. If you're renewing a license, you select an existing application, an existing license which has expired or is expiring within 3 months. Then you say renew license, and the renewal process will be started. The only difference is that all the fields will be populated with information from your existing license. You do not start from scratch. So the application we have done was for an accommodation establishment. If, for example, our establishment is something else, like maybe a travel agency, the process would be the same. The difference would be on the license details. So if I continue with one of the existing applications, I'll say update. So to continue with an existing application, just say update. So here the applicant details have been provided already and they are fine. I'll move to the next section, which is the license details. So under the license details, when submitting for another type of tourism enterprise, you do not pick accommodation here. Here you pick other tourism enterprise. The moment you pick this, the license types available to you will change. So now you have things like boat cruise, travel agency, hunting safari, car hire. You simply select which one you are applying for. So maybe you can say it's a boat cruise. If you notice now, the field for classification, where we could indicate the guest house, hotel, it has now become grayed out because this is not relevant anymore to a boat cruise. Even the hotel manager certificate number, you cannot provide information for that now because it's not applicable for this license type. The number of beds also has become inactive because it's not applicable. Similar with the facilities. On the conviction history, that one will still apply because this one is not specific to a type of license. So you still need to provide this information. On the compliance, like the permits, these ones will still be there. You still need to write these documents. Even the attachments, they'll still be required. The description of the facilities, they will still apply as well. This is still going to be there. So if you've noticed, since I've chosen car hire, you've seen the type of features which are there. There's now 2 activities. So what you see there might change. That here will indicate which documents are relevant for each type of license. Then, of course, even the last page for confirming, this one will also be the same. It just gives you a summary. And if you go to the estimated fees due for this application, you will notice now that that calculation for the number of beds will not apply anymore because it's no longer an accommodation establishment. You will simply see that for you to apply for the boat cruise, the fee is due, it's 6,000 Zambian kwacha. There will be no calculation for beds anymore. So the process is the same, and to submit, you do the same thing. You say submit application, it will ask you to confirm, you say okay, and your license will be submitted. So it's this one. Doing your applications, it even indicates there on the type. So here you can tell this is a boat cruise. This was a foster establishment. If you check your email, you also get an email telling you that your license has been submitted, and your email as well will indicate that your type of license is a boat cruise, and the category is other, and the details for your license. So that's the process, or now you submit the application. So we've gone through submitting a new application for both an accommodation and the other tourism enterprise like a boat cruise. And we've also gone through the process of submitting quarterly returns. And I demonstrated also the part for renewing a license, which is expiring. So this should be enough to allow you to navigate most features of the application.